We hate the snow. We hate the cold.
Sorry.
I mean, I think it's just, once you know too much, we got out of it. We lived in California, and then just, you don't have to live in the snow anymore.
And you can visit over Christmas.
And we do.
Love that. We
love
do love
it.
that
Yes.
period of time.
We love to visit, but then we like to come back and put our flip-flops back on.
That's right.
So.
Because we're wimpy like that.
So wimpy. So that was kind of the mindset. And then also we had daughter number 2. So we just knew before she had to go to school and do all these things, we need to get out of the cold. I mean, I can't bundle up 2 kids and snowsuits and all this stuff and boots and hats and put them in the car and then take it all off. And
it's just not efficient.
It's a lot of work.
It is.
I don't have time for that. I don't want to make time for that. So yeah, I decided, you know what? I want to do something different. I think I'll be good at sales. I've pretty much did sales in my education role. I always sell to my clients in a way. I mean, we don't really call it sales, but it's kind of very similar. And you're really good at sales. So I knew that I've listened to many of your conversations. And so I had some knowledge from you as well.
Yeah.
And so I felt confident that I could go and knock it out of the park, which I did. And it also gave me the flexibility. So this is what I was looking for. 2 girls, moving back to California, having to figure out everything. And then I'm going to get into the sales world this time. It's a fast start. I'm off and running as soon as we get there.
Yeah. And congrats again. You were awesome at it, which I knew you would be. And yeah, the upside is there. But then again, talking about Southern California, talking about traffic, talking about sitting in the car every day. And now, at least, even though you did the balayage classes a lot and you were doing training classes, at least you're still being somewhat creative. You could come up with a format for it. You were in front of people actually demonstrating capabilities. Sales is, here's the new products. Let me take your returns away. And hey, we got this special that we need to get done before the end of the month or whatever, right? I mean, that's unfortunately just kind of how it is. So that didn't stay appealing for you for very long. No matter how many number 1 sales accolades you got, it was a very short time that you're like, okay, I need to be creative again. And honestly, I know now for the rest of my life, besides other types of businesses I want to run, I will own salons and I will grow salons because that is what I'm most passionate about, because you get the creative, you get the build out, all those things. So, all right, sales job, you're doing great, but what starts happening as you start to, get a little more excited about thinking about a salon business again?
Well, I mean, even with the sales job, now, before when I was in education, people always talked to me about business. But now, I'm trying to show my value to them, I think because they're going to make more sales for me. So I'm telling them about my past, who I am. I'm new, newish in their world. Maybe maybe they didn't know me from the education part. A lot of them did. So I'm trying to show them value, what my knowledge is and my background. And they're actually just wanting me to talk business all the time.
Right.
So they're showing me their break room. They're asking me how they deal with this stylist or what's the motto here. And I'm like, my gosh, that's all I'm doing.
Right.
It's like I work in a salon, as their manager or something, and so I'd get home and have these conversations with you again and be like, I just spent an hour, consulting about their business. So we got to figure out something. And plus I was missing the creative outlet a lot. I mean, even people wanted me to show them techniques and can you just do a haircut real quick? I'm like, no, I'm not here to do that.
Right.
So it's getting really bored. So decided I'm going to do a suite. I'm going to just, it'll fulfill the creative outlet and I can do this little suite. You and I talked about it. You're like, that's enough. I think that'll work.
Right.
Yeah. And then what happened, Jeff?
It didn't work for very long.
No, it didn't.
And again, I think we had a good plan.
Yeah.
And we took a suite, that little 10 by 12 box or whatever that thing was. It was immaculate. I've never seen a cooler looking suite in my life. So you made it your own, and the build out kept you pretty happy for about till we got done with it. And then you got your first clients in. And again, the one point I want to make that I don't think can ever be, repeated enough is every single salon we're going to talk about, which I guess will be 5 in total at least at this point in time,
right,
including the suite, was 0 clients starting. Right. Every market, you had 0 clients. So this wasn't like starting with a group of friends. We lived here for 10 years and we're just like, all of a sudden everybody's coming. We know nobody. We're pretty much each other's only friends just because that's how we roll, at least at that point in time.
I got friends.
I mean, I once had friends too. But anyway, we had each other and that was about it. And honestly, doing my hair probably wasn't going to last too long. So you decide that you're going to move into this suite, and about as fast as you do that, you decide you don't want to do the suite anymore.
Well, I mean, it wasn't that fast. I love the remodel part. I went to school. Months. I went to school first for interior decorating, so I really love designing and stuff like that. So that part is always fun for me. So that'll definitely keep me interested until it's done.
Right.
But yeah, so that was my stipulation. I'm like, I think I can do a suite as long as I make it the coolest suite there is. So I have a candy bar. I have, just all these amenities that I feel like are a little bit different. And then I'm sitting in a room with my client. It's awkward for me. I've never done this. I'm down the hallway to the right, to the left, and then you'll find me and no one can find me. So that is just not my style. I got bored real quick with that as well. And then I'd come home and complain a lot about the suite. And you're like, no, you're going to do it. We just built this suite.
I don't know if that was the case because besides the fact that you finally made me say, well, okay, I think we can make this work. Before you convinced me that, I said, this is not going to work for you. You are not wired like that. You will hate the fact that you're limited on the space and that you can't grow within that space. And then you're like, well, it'll work because of A, B, and C. So, I mean, we negotiated it out. But yeah, when I came around, then I was like, well, we just put all this money into it and it looks amazing.
Right.
Your clients don't seem to be complaining just yet. Although we found out later that when you actually start salon number 4, that they're like, oh, thank goodness, I'm so happy that you're in this space now instead of the suite. It was nice, but yeah, I mean, that was a common discussion, I guess, with the clients that you did have from the suite. All right. So in the suite, you finally decide to get out.
Okay.
What's next?
I decided to get out like I'm in jail or something.